Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for joining. I want to receive the blessings of Radha Madhav, Radha Shyam, Sata Krishna, Bal Gopal, Gauritai, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and talk about Lord Shiva today because it's celebration yesterday, half today of Maha Shivaratri, and often regarded as the appearance day of Lord Shiva. But also other things happened on Maha Shivaratri. Shivaratri occurs every month, 14th day of the waning moon. Maha Shivaratri happens just once. Some, of course, say this happens twice. Maha Shivaratri means the great night of Lord Shiva. So Ratri means night, and Maha means great. On this day, Shaivites, followers of Lord Shiva, fast and celebrate all night by prayers to Lord Shiva in order to obtain their desires, which are usually material, unfortunately. Vaishnavas also worship Lord Shiva on this day in order to receive his blessings to become a better devotee of Krishna, because he's regarded to be the greatest devotee. So these are some of the prayers that one can help pray to Lord Shiva to help us. O Kshetrapal, protector of the Dhams, Shiva, you are certainly very merciful. Being kind to me, please give me love for Krishna. Another one is, O Shivaji, Shankar, you are completely full of Purna. You fulfill all the desires of devotees. Therefore, seeing you, I am offering this prayer. Please fulfill my desires. Let me have unflinching bhakti onto Krishna and onto you who are completely surrendered onto Krishna. Another one, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, Lord Shiva, O Rudra, who are the reservoir of all potencies, the reservoir of all knowledge and the master of everyone. I offer my respectful obeisances to Sri Gopeshwar, who is merciful Lord Shiva himself. He removes all troubles and grants spiritual love in Vrindavan. And O Shiva, O gatekeeper of Vrindavan, O you who are accompanied by Uma, as Parvati, O you who carry the moon in your hair, O Lord worshipped by Sanandana Kumar, Sanat Kumar, and Narad Muni, O Gopeshwar, the worshipful deity of the gopis, desiring that you bestow upon me love for the lotus feet of divine couple, Shri Radha Madhav, who perform joyous pastimes in Braj, I offer my obeisances unto you again and again. So Lord Shiva also advised his wife, Durga Mata, or Parvati, Shri Rama Rama Rameti, Rame Rame Mano Rame, Sahasranam Tattulyam, Ram Nam Varanane. O Varnana, lovely faced one, I chant the holy name of Ram, 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 and thus constantly enjoy this beautiful sound. This holy name of Ramachandra is equal to 1,000 holy names of Vishnu. So this is actually from the Vishnu Sahasranam Stotram, Lord Shiva advising Mother Parvati. So Shivaratri is celebrated for many reasons. Appearance of Shiva, when Shiva drank the poison to protect the world, when the demons and the devotees were churning the ocean, so many things came out. But before everything came out, poison came out. And Lord Shiva came to save the world by holding that poison in his throat. The night when Shiva performs the heavenly dance of creation, preservation, and destruction. He's known as Nataraj as well. It's also the night when Shiva and Parvati get married. So this is the entourage of Shiva. He's got some crazy persons behind him who scare everybody. This is Shiva and Parvati getting married. So Lord Krishna is identified by Guru, Shadhu Shastra as Supreme Personality Godhead, the source of all material spiritual worlds. This is Bhagavad Gita 10:8. When Krishna wants to touch this material world, it transforms into Shiva. The Lord's glance wakes up material nature. So Shiva is the same as Krishna, but also different, like milk and yogurt. Though milk and yogurt are essentially non-different, they're both milk products. But one can use milk to make ghee, cheese, ice cream, yogurt, but one cannot turn yogurt back into milk. So in the same way, Shiva is, when he's in touch with this material world, when Vishnu is in touch with this material world, then transforms into Shiva. Shiram yatadati vikara vishesha yoga sanjayate nati tarpatagastu hetu yam shambhutam api tathap samupat paitikaryat govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. This is milk is transformed into curd by the action of acids, yet the effect curd is neither same as nor different from its cause, i.e. the milk. So I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whom the state of Shambhu is a transformation for the performance of the work of destruction. So theologically, Shiva is both God and yet different from God at the same time. Very difficult to understand Shiva Tattva. Because of Shiva's intimate contact with the material world, especially the quality of ignorance, the souls in this world may not receive the same spiritual restoration by worshipping Shiva as by worshipping Vishnu. But we should understand, Shiva holds the keys to leave this material world. Krishna holds the keys to enter the spiritual world. His devotees are of three types: the ghosts, hobblings, and demons, because he gives shelter to those whom everybody else has rejected. Also the yogis and the tapasvis, they worship Shiva. These are the really austere yogis here. And those who want material possessions also worship Shiva. The worship of Shiva is superior to that of Brahma, because Shiva is superior. So if we look at this chart here, it's very interesting. From Krishna comes Balaram, then the quadruple incarnation, then from Shankar Narayan, from whom comes another quadruple set of incarnations. And then from this Sankarshan comes Mahavishnu. This is Mahavishnu. One breath is equal to 311 trillion 40 billion years. That's a lot of years. And that's the lifespan of a universe. And Lord Brahma, his life is that long, 311 trillion 40 billion years. But he is simply a jiva like we are. So when the jiva has 50 qualities in full, he can become Brahma. I add another 5 qualities, and that is Lord Shiva. So we can never become Shiva. Shiva is Shiva. Add another 5 to Shiva is Vishnu, and then add another 4 to Vishnu is Krishna. It is therefore said that Shiva is a unique living being who merits its own category known as Shiva Tattva. Shiva has his abode in Mount Kailash, beyond this world, and the world is known as Shivlok. This is Kailash, and this is Lord Shiva meditating in Kailash. And here is Kailash, in between material and spiritual worlds. Lord Shiva is also one of the Gunavatars in charge of mode of ignorance. He destroys the universe at the appropriate time. And this is really interesting. Lord Shiva or Shambhu is regarded as the greatest amongst devotees of Vishnu. Vaishnava Nam Yata Shambhu. He's regarded as the greatest Vaishnava. He's got different names. Sadashiva, the original form of Krishna or Shiva in the spiritual world. Shambhu means auspicious. Shiva also means auspicious. Nataraj, king of dancers, Rudra, enraged form of Shiva, Dakshinamurti, yogic form of Shiva, Vishwanath, Lord of the universe, Mahadev, chief of the demigods, Shankar, giver of knowledge, Nilkant, blue-throat, Bholanath, simple, Ashutosh, easily pleased. So he's one of the most famous deities to be worshipped in Bharat. There are very famous lingas, 12 of them. And this is a linga, which is quite an interesting way to worship the Lord. There's 12 major ones in such places as Varanasi and Somnath. And Varanasi is considered to be very much a place loved by Shiva and his devotees. And they go there and to die. And when somebody dies in Varanasi, Shiva comes and calls out the name of Ram into his ears. Very holy place. This is the Vishwanath temple in Varanasi. Often his worshippers pray to Shiva to gain material wealth. It's a business transaction. I worship you, you give me. But that's not bhakti. That's just business. According to Vaishnavas, the authorized method of worship of Shiva is described by the Rudra Sampradaya, also known as the Vishnu Swami Sampradaya. This is an authorized Vaishnava lineage started by Shiva himself, in which Shiva is worshipped as the greatest devotee of Vishnu. He's bathed with milk and balpatra leaves. This is a bathing of Shivling, which we did yesterday. He's decorated very beautifully. He has many qualities, very kind. Anybody gives shelter to those who everybody has rejected. He's very compassionate and kind, sweet, humble, easily pleased, Ashutosh. This demon, he was cutting his own flesh to offer to Shiva. Shiva came and said, what do you want? He said, I want anybody's head I touch, they should die. They should explode. So Shiva granted that wish, and he came straight after Shiva's head. And then Shiva ran all the way to Vishnu, who protected him by telling the demon, how do you expect this fellow to give you such a nice boon? Just your own head, see what happens. He touched his own head and he exploded. Shiva is also very peaceful, constantly meditating on the Lord. Shiva is so amazing, such an amazing devotee that even Ram worships his own devotee. This is not unusual because God likes to reciprocate. If a devotee is worshipping the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Lord reciprocates also. So here, Ram worshipped Shiva at the time when Ram wanted to defeat Ravan, who was a devotee of Shiva. Shiva also came as Shankaracharya, and there are 12 great authorities who preach about God, and they're called Mahajans, and one of them is Shiva. And Shankaracharya, when he came as an incarnation of Shiva in 686 AD, about 1500 years ago. And he preached that God has no form, which is actually not the best way to preach about God. But Shankaracharya was ordered to do that by the Supreme Lord. But at the end, he wrote many bhajans, like this one. Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Mudha Mate. O fool, worship Govinda, worship Govinda, worship Govinda. So in this world, how does he appear? Well, one time Brahma was given the instruction to create this universe. He created the 4 Kumaras, these young gentlemen here. But they said to their father, Brahma, we are not going to procreate. You want us to populate the world, but we're not going to do it. We don't want to be in Maya. Brahma became angry, and from that anger came Rudra, Lord Shiva. He's married to Parvati, has two sons, Ganesh, Kartikeya. He also received Ganga Mata on his head, in his hair, to break the fall of Ganga into this world. Otherwise, she would have shattered this world to pieces. But he provided that cushion so Ganga could flow into this world. This is this worship of Shivling by Ram. In Krishna Leela as well, Shiva came to have darshan of Krishna, but Yashoda wouldn't let him in because he looked so terrifying. He had snakes around his neck. And then, because Krishna didn't see him, he started crying. And then a devotee called Purnamasi, she asked Yashoda, why is your boy crying? Oh, I don't know. Did you not let somebody in recently? And Yashoda said, yes, I didn't let this crazy fellow in. Who was it? Oh, he had a half moon on his head and snakes around his body. Oh, he's an important person. Bring him here quickly. So Yashoda went and found him and gave him darshan of Krishna. And they both became very happy to see each other. Very special relationship. Also, one time, Shiva wanted to enter the Ras Leela, where the Krishna dances with the gopis. And he wasn't allowed unless he changed into a female, which he did. He's known as Gopeshwar. Very famous deity in Vrindavan is Gopeshwar Mahadev. He's dressed as a gopi every night. And he was allowed to enter into the Ras Leela dance. Advaitacharya is also regarded to be partial incarnation of Shiva and Mahavishnu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also spent 3 days with Lord Shiva when he came to this world. When Krishna came as Mohini, Shiva was very attracted to Mohini. This is the beauty of Krishna and attract even Shiva. And Lord Shiva, he gives a lot of explanations to Parvati about the glories of the name of Ram, especially the name of Ram. And at Kashi, when somebody dies there, Shiva utters the name of Ram into their ear. Ganesh is also the first to be worshipped because Lord Shiva advised him to circumambulate or roll Ram's name 3 times in order to win the race of who should be worshipped first. And he did, and he won. And also this family never have fights because of their worship of Ram. And you would have thought they were always having fights because the carrier of Parvati is lion, and Shiva's carrier is the bull. Bulls and lions don't get on. The carrier of Ganesh is mouse, and mice don't get on with snakes. Snakes eat mice. And peacocks eat snakes. Kartikeya has a peacock as his carrier. So it's amazing how they don't have constant fights. And Shiva says it's because they're worshipping Ram. This is what a tilak looks like on a Shaivite. The Vaishnavas wear them downwards. Shivites also believe that the world is an illusion, but Vaishnavas believe that the world is real, not an illusion, but it's temporary. Shaivites study Shiv Puran, Vaishnavas study Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. And very good news, Lokeshwar is reading the Bhagavatam. He's on the 1st canto, 2nd chapter. Shaivites believe that God has no form. They can merge with God, but Vaishnavas believe that God has a form and we are his servants. Some Shaivites smoke bhang, cover themselves in ashes. So how do we observe Shivaratri? Well, sometimes like Nanda Baba and the Brajvasis, they would go to the temple of Shiva in Gujarat to celebrate Maha Shivaratri. Their mood was to pray for the welfare of Krishna, pray to be more attached to Krishna. Similarly, gopis also would approach Katyani Devi and Lord Shiva to have Krishna as their husband. And if we're worshipping him in the right mood, not as God but as devotee, then there's no harm worshipping Shiva. Fasting on Mahashivratri, some people do Ekadasi fast. So that's a very quick, brief guide of Mahashivratri and Lord Shiva, very kind personality. Any questions, any comments, please?
Did you see that famous verse?
Oh. Hey, we can stop there. Thank you so much, everybody. Mahashivratri ki jai.